the seeker-friendly big box church in Chattanooga, Tennessee, decided to cancel church on the Lord's Day, calling it a summer Sabbath so that everyone could go to the beach. Guys, we don't need a break. We don't need a Sabbath from worship because the worship is our Sabbath. And there's disagreements over whether or not the Lord's Day is the New Testament Sabbath and a fulfillment of the fourth commandment, or if the fourth commandment has been abrogated. You know where I stand, because I hold the covenant theology. And so I thought, how could I end this article in a way that would make everybody happy? And that is, where did it go? Where'd the line go? While there are differences of opinion in Christendom as to whether or not the fourth commandment is fulfilled by the New Testament Sabbath day on Sunday, or whether Sunday worship is simply the Lord's Day as distinct from the Old Testament command, it's clear that one day out of 7 should be a day of worship set apart for the Lord. So we can all agree to that. There should be one day out of 7 set aside for the gathered assembly. And in the Old Testament, it was called a convocation. Call a convocation for the Lord. Exodus chapter 12, verse 16. The Sabbath was a convocation. So the idea of some, especially dispensationalists, that in the Old Testament the Sabbath was they just huddled in their homes. No, they didn't. They traveled and they got together just like we do now. And also we're told in places like Hebrews 10:25 not to forsake the assembling of ourselves together, especially to go to the beach. And if you're so seeker sensitive, you're canceling church to appease people, you got problems, theological problems.